On paper, a company can look like a massive success, reporting record profits quarter after quarter. But if you actually look inside the company's bank vault, the actual cash account might be completely empty. This happens because a business cannot pay its employees or its suppliers with ledger entries. Survival requires actual liquid cash. A company's financial value often gets trapped before it reaches the bank. It sits on warehouse shelves as raw materials, or it's tied up in unpaid invoices from customers who haven't settled their bills yet. While that value is stuck, the business's obligations continue. Rent is due, payroll is coming up, and suppliers expect payment, creating a constant pressure on the company's reserves. This ability to meet these short-term obligations is known as liquidity. It is the metric that dictates day-to-day survival, regardless of the long-term profit forecast. To maintain this liquidity, managers use an active strategy called working capital management. Mathematically, this is expressed as net working capital, the difference between current assets, like your cash and inventory, and current liabilities, which are the debts you owe within the next year. Keeping these two sides in balance is a daily operational requirement. It ensures the business has enough of a buffer to keep the lights on without needing to borrow more than it can afford. The most effective tool for tracking this flow of cash is the cash conversion cycle. This cycle tracks the exact amount of time it takes to convert an initial investment in inventory and labor back into cash in the bank. Managers control this speed using three primary levers. The first is inventory days, which measures how quickly a company can turn raw materials into a finished sale. The second lever is receivables days. This measures how effectively a business collects payments from its customers once the sale is made. Finally, there is payables days. This involves negotiating longer payment terms with suppliers, essentially using a grace period to keep cash in the business for as long as possible. The goal is to shrink the time between these steps. Racing against this timeline minimizes the amount of capital that is trapped and unproductive. This chart shows how those levers interact. The cash conversion cycle is the sum of your inventory and receivables days, minus the time your suppliers give you to pay your bills. Different industries face different constraints. A manufacturer like Top Glove needs months to process raw materials, leading to a long cycle. Meanwhile, a service app like Grab has almost zero inventory, allowing for a much faster return on their investment. Regardless of the industry, managing this cycle involves a constant tension between safety and growth. This table illustrates the trade-off. Hoarding excess cash and inventory provides high liquidity and safety, but results in low profitability. However, running a tight cycle maximizes profit potential, but carries a high risk of default if a customer payment is delayed. Effective management is the search for the mathematical middle ground, an optimal working capital level that balances financial safety with the ability to invest in growth. We can see this in action with Padini Holdings. As a fashion retailer, they have to manage massive seasonal swings in demand while keeping their cash moving. For their inventory lever, Padini uses a just-in-time model for core items. This prevents cash from being locked up in dead stock, while they only buffer inventory for specific seasonal lines. When it comes to receivables, they collect aggressively from smaller distributors. This ensures that the cash from sales returns to the business as quickly as possible. To manage the payables lever, they negotiate longer terms with their own suppliers. This gives them a larger window to sell their goods before they have to pay for the materials. By actively pulling these three levers, Padini maintains a short cash conversion cycle. This efficiency generates the liquidity they need to fund major promotional campaigns and survive sales peaks without depleting their cash reserves. In a volatile post-pandemic economy, many firms are now prioritizing these lean working capital models. Maintaining a cash buffer has become a core strategy for staying agile during supply chain disruptions. Modern businesses use digital tools to manage this complexity. Platforms like SAP and Oracle now allow managers to forecast their working capital needs and automate their payment collections in real time. Managing the cash conversion cycle provides the visibility needed to adjust to sudden shifts in the market. By shrinking the time between spending cash and receiving it, companies maintain the financial flexibility to fund operations and weather economic uncertainty.